pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Motion to approve the minutes from the February 18th Township Board meeting.
I'll move that we approve the minutes of the February 18th Township Board meeting and place them on file.
I second that.
Moved supported that the February 18th, 2016 Manistee Township Board minutes be accepted, placed on file. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? You've received a copy of your treasurer's report. Entertain a motion to accept that as well.
Motion to accept as presented.
Is there support?
I'll support.
It's been moved supported that the treasurer's report be accepted and placed on file. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Carried. You received the minutes from the Manistee Township Planning Commission. Their minutes from the February 4th meeting. Place those up front.
Also the March 3rd minutes are in there, aren't they?
No, we don't have
March 3rd.
No, we have the January.
We
Oh,
have the
January
February
4th.
We have the January signed ones
Sorry.
and the February accepted.
Okay,
There was no appeals meeting.
correct.
You had a chance to look at your correspondence in your packet. Any comments on any of that? If not, we'll move on to anyone with anything to bring before the board at this time. Okay. Mr. Dotz won't be here this evening. He was here last month and made his report, and they don't meet until next Tuesday, so there's really nothing for him to report. Mr. Zoning Administrator.
Okay. Besides no appeal, there were no complaints. There were 2 receipts, one for signs at the hospital and one for an addition to a home on Bar Lake, actually. The Planning Commission met last Thursday. They've scheduled a work session to work on US 31 corridor access management for the 16th, which is next week, Wednesday evening. What else? The treasurer and I last week went to meet with the township attorney concerning both the Little River Band of Ottawa Indian sewer ordinance that the township committed to creating and enforcing, and also the city water agreement that the city has already signed that we haven't signed yet. There were just a couple of typographical errors and omissions that we talked to the township attorney again this morning, and he just sent the letters out today. So we haven't heard back from the city or the tribe on our suggested modifications.
That it?
That's it.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Guy? Chuck was called out of town and he's not back yet. Tommy, do you have anything to report?
The only thing is the master street valve on, or nozzle on 131 was, ladder 131 was replaced today, so that should be in operation now. And that's about all we got.
Okay.
Until
Nothing abnormal at all?
Well, we're having some issues with our rescue vehicle. We're in the process of maybe taking it in and having it looked at. So I'll let you know. We'll let you know next month on that. And that's about it.
Anyone else?
Any questions about fire department? No significant changes for the liquor inspections. In the Oaks quarterly report, Mr. Dance again is, did he give a report last month?
No.
I think they met last month, didn't they?
Not
No, they met in
really.
January,
He claimed
correct?
not.
Yes, he said no.
Didn't they meet in January?
He said they hadn't.
Okay.
We thought they would,
I thought they were due to.
yeah.
Okay, the Cromer McGinnis drain, the drain commissioner told me some time ago that he was going to be advertising for bids for contractors starting the 24th, but unless it's in a paper other than the Manistee paper, I haven't seen it. So,
Me either.
I don't know if that's taking place or not. I
haven't
know
seen it.
he's been here and asked for hall rental, hall usage for contract openings and meetings with the contractors, but
He hasn't scheduled a date.
yeah, it's in April, wasn't it, Karen?
Yes,
It was late, second half of April, but it was in April,
it
right?
was in April, there were like 3 different dates that he gave,
Yeah, that he wanted the hall
that
for
he
it.
wanted the hall for.
But I'm not familiar with the process, maybe he's advertising somewhere other than the Manistee paper. One other thing that's not on the agenda is the revenue sharing board will meet April 11th for the verbal presentations of Cycle 1 2016. Anything else under reports? Under unfinished business, the Onekama Township request for help with the JAWS unit. Mr. Meister suggested he would be here this evening, that's why he's on the agenda. Evidently something else has come up. Little Manistee River watershed, you had an opportunity to look at the information that we were given last month. There's been some research done by members of the board, and you've received a copy of the resolution that this board adopted on October 10th, 1996. Is it something you want me to read, or?
Well, I don't know if we want to read it, but I would make the motion that this board reaffirm our 96 resolution and decline to enter into the partnership agreement with the Little Manistee River Conservation Corps that they gave us last month. For the benefit of the audience, I mean...
Well, I think I should read it for the benefit of the audience, so
Okay.
they know just what you're suggesting. On October 10th, 1996, the Manistee Township Board supports sound and environmental protection, including watershed management. However, we believe that township governments should have the final decision as to how land use should be regulated. We question the need for additional regulation by the DNR in light of the fact that the Manistee Township already has watershed zoning in place. Our zoning couples with existing statutes that work together to protect the watershed. It is our position that local governments are best able to regulate land use through balancing the need for resource protection with managed development and property rights. That was again on October 10th in the form of a resolution. It was adopted unanimously, and that is what Guy is suggesting we follow. That's been made in a motion. Is there a second?
I second that.
It's been moved and supported that we follow the resolution that was adopted on October 10th, 1996 with regard to the Little River watershed. Any discussion? Would you call roll, please?
Mr. Fino,
Yes.
Ms. Jankowitz,
Yes.
Taylor, yes. Mr.
Yes.
Beckers.
Motion carried. Under new business, Mark is here from the road commission. Sir?
Good evening. Basically Mark Solden from the Road Commission, Bob Rochelle and his lovely wife Barb will help him along the way. Just going to quickly go through the packet of information. I'm not going to go through it in any detail. I'm sure you've probably got better things to do with your time tonight. But anyway, I've got one document. It's pretty lengthy. It's a 10-page document, actually, facts and information about Manistee County Road Commission and road agencies in Michigan. You know, when you do get a chance, you know, it is a lot of good information to read. You know, a lot of history on road commissions and what we do, stuff of that nature. We do have a copy of the budget for the current fiscal year, which is basically from October 1st of 2015 through September 30th of this year. And then the other document we have, I've got like a letter or memo, and it's attached to what we call the distribution report. And what that shows is basically expenditures for local and primary road routine maintenance. You're going to have to bear with me a second. I have to thumb through mine to find yours, so I can at least indicate what the amount of expenditures were. And that was actually for last fiscal year 2015. So as far as primary road maintenance, and that's going to be roads like Coates Highway, you know, Cotton Sugar Road, stuff of that nature. We expended in last fiscal year almost $70,000 on pretty much routine maintenance, patching potholes, plowing snow, roadside mowing, stuff of that nature. On the local road system, we expended about $117,000 in your township. Total was almost $187,000, and that's strictly for routine maintenance. Now, that does not cover like snow plowing on what we call plow routes. We have like 4 dedicated plow routes, say like Coates Highway goes through your township, you know, the adjoining townships, and the truck driver will charge it to that number, but it's not split out according to the townships. So in essence, our expenditures are more than, you know, what's shown on the computer printout. We have information on what they call Manistee County plow miles. It just has a, excuse me, a listing of all the townships, the number of miles of primary roads, local roads, even seasonal roads. And in Manistee Township, you have almost 16 miles of county primary roads. You have almost 45 miles of county local roads, with a total of a little over 60 miles. You only have almost 2 miles of seasonal roads, which is basically, you know, 2-track type of roads. And here in Manistee County, on the state highway system, we maintain 83 miles, M55, US 31, M22, and M115. County-wide, we certify 1,044 miles of road here in the county. Also have a listing of, this is like a computer spreadsheet that we say pavement surface evaluation and rating, or PASER. And so every year we are required, like through Transportation Asset Management, to rate our federal aid paved county primary roads. So in 2015, we rated 209 miles, and it's basically one person from the Road Commission, generally like Mike Woods from Networks Northwest, and a person from MDOT. We concurrently drive the paved roads with a laptop computer. Everybody's been trained on how to evaluate the blacktop pavement conditions. From like 1 would be a totally failed blacktop, a 10 would be a brand new blacktop. Now, for the 209 miles that were rated in 2015, the average PASER rating is a little over 5, which means they're in fair condition. But out of the 209 miles, there was probably about 50 miles that could be just overlaid with blacktop or ground up and repaved. Now, this does not cover paved local roads, and it doesn't cover all the primary roads. So 10 to 1 on a paved local roads are probably about equal condition, you know, if not worse. So we definitely have a lot of needs here in the county. And that's pretty similar, unfortunately, throughout the state of Michigan, where everybody's been struggling with transportation funding, for a number of years. We have a copy of a public notice which shows when our board meetings are. We meet the second Wednesday each month. We just have one additional meeting, excuse me, on September 30th, and that's to make sure that we adopt our budget for the next fiscal year. As far as projects done here in Manistee Township, I know in 2015 we did, with federal and state aid, we did about 21 miles of blacktop wedging and some overlays and then chip seal. We did some work on Coates Highway, from 31 to the east. And then we did some work on Lakeshore Road over by the big lake from Bar Lake Road up to Crescent Beach Road. So it's, partly near Township and partly, Necama. Just kind of an update, as far as what we're doing right now. Obviously, momentarily, we do have some spring weather. We are actually, starting today, we're back on a lot of the gravel and dirt roads, especially after the rain, the last few days, and trying to straighten some of those up. We do still have frost in the ground in some areas, and because hopefully we'll see what the winter brings. There's, I think, looking at the forecast, you have a chance, probably between now and sometime in April, you're always, when you're hovering around the freezing point, there's always a chance to have some, winter conditions or black ice, stuff of that nature. So, and we are, if we're not dealing with snow events or winter events, we're always patching potholes when the pavement is bare, and we're cutting trees, stuff of that nature. The approximate snowfall to date this winter, we recorded, it's not totally scientific, but roughly about 96 inches to date. Last winter, about the same time period, we had roughly about 122 inches. Last winter was pretty mild, and this winter so far looks like it's sitting pretty good. Of course, the winter before we had a record snowfall of like 212 inches. So, as far as the state and federal aid projects for this year, all we're doing is a little over a mile of resurfacing on Seaman Road from the South County line up to Hoxseyville Road there by the Dublin store. We only get roughly about $450,000 in federal and state funds each year towards projects, and that's pretty much using all of the funds, limited funds. Last year, for local projects, it was a busy season. We had 8 projects. We had done a major resurfacing job on Erdman Road in Necama Township. A little bit of resurfacing on 5th Street in Arcadia. Resurfacing on Joseph Road in Necama Township right off Erdman. Did some resurfacing on Lakeside Avenue by Bear Lake in Pleasanton Township. Just overlaying some really bad areas. And then on Norconk Road in Pleasanton Township, we did a blacktop overlay for about a half mile. We did a big project on Linderman Road just north of the Road Commission in Bear Lake Township. That was total regrind and repaving for a mile. Some rotary graveling on Necama Township. Then over in Dixon Township, we did a little grading and graveling job on Pole Road north of Brewer. And all of these jobs were done basically with Road Commission Township cost share. Projects coming up for this year. I'll be working on estimates fairly soon. I've gotten requests from some townships. I know I'm looking at, we've looked at, I think you had like Olson Road, you would like us to consider, fixing and, chip seal. And then we are working on Millark Road, which is kind of between your township and Brown. And we're hoping basically to get like a 4-way split on that, as far as the funding goes. I've, done estimates on that a while ago. We had our consultant do the survey work and put some base plans together, so I'm going to basically put a design on it. So we're hoping that job will go, this year. So I'll, and it's my understanding, hopefully, the Road Commission, the 2 townships, and the tribe. I know the tribe committed to it. So
as we did.
Yep, so, basically get together agreements for everybody and get them turned in so we can.
I talked to Paul at Brown, and he said that they're ready to also.
Good, yep, I ran into them one morning, so that will be a, good project. Basically, that'll be a full reconstruction for about 4/10 of a mile, and then we'll pave it too, so.
And that'll complete that one in.
Yep, right,
Finally.
finally.
Yeah.
And we have a project we're going to be doing down in Stronach Township, there at the Little Manistee River. It's something that's like an erosion repair project where we're going to redo the embankment. That's where the 3 large culverts are. And basically redo the embankment, put heavy stone riprap in, for a permanent fix. And so we'll be closing the road for probably a week or two, working on that, and we'll have a major traffic detour. And even last fall we were going to try it, but we were kind of pushing the envelope last fall because we had to. We got a DEQ permit for it, plus a Corps of Engineers permit. So that's something we'll be definitely doing this summer. We have a timber bridge we're going to be building up on Coates Highway at Arkeela Creek over in Dixon Township. And that's basically, most of it's being funded by the U.S. Forest Service. And then the county secured a grant from like Save Our Great Lakes, for like $90,000. And then there'll be some road commission funds in that. So that'll be a big project. It'll be pretty similar to a few of them that were done just to the south on Warfield Road. So the transportation funding, kind of an update. Last November, the legislators definitely made some decisions, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. And so there will be an increase in transportation funding for, the different road agencies, including MDOT. The County Road Association estimates the Manistee County Road Commission will get roughly about $800,000 to $80,000 in 2017 additional revenue. Right now we get roughly about $3.9 million of like gas tax, most of our primary revenue. And so they anticipate the first year in 2017 we'll get about $880,000. Kind of in perspective, that's roughly enough to maybe grind up and repave 3 miles of road. So it doesn't go very far.
Scott.
Well, that's actually, I should mention that in 2017, because we have the small urban funding for that's already secured. And I know actually the tribe is going to participate in local cost on that too. And we've got preliminary design already done. That's done a while ago, but there will be let for bids in the spring of next year, and then constructed in 2017. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of potholes on that section. But they estimate by like 2021 we should be receiving roughly almost like another $2.5 million above what we normally get now. So, and then after that point, it's actually going to be indexed to inflation. Like the current problem we've had since '97, they raised the gas tax, but it's a fixed 19 cents per gallon. So, when the gas price goes up, people drive less. So when you have a fixed amount, that definitely hurt the revenues and. The cost of doing business, the price of construction materials and everything else went up, so that's why it's been flat for quite a few years. So, whether it's right, wrong, or different, like I said, we will have additional funding down the road. We do have a lot of needs, obviously. And that funding is used, obviously we've got a lot of roads in that we have to deal with, but also, we got old equipment and everything too, so, it's going to be like our normal transportation fund. You use it for projects and use it for, the equipment, stuff of that nature. So, we had 2 seasonal employees working for us again this year, which, worked out pretty good, and that's primarily in the winter time. In fact, one of them was one of our prior supervisors, Bill Deasing, so that's been working out quite well. Seasonal weight restrictions, those started last Monday at 6 a.m. And we do over our weighmaster patrolling, the roads to make sure to, try to catch violators. If you see any violators, I guess please give the road commission a call, and we will definitely check it out because we're trying to obviously save our roads before somebody tears them up. So, and I don't know, Bob, you have something to add?
No, just same thing that I had it last night. It'd probably be nice to warn anybody you know before, before our guy catches them, because it can be quite costly.
Who does that? Does the state police do that, or did you do it yourself?
No, we have our own, Greg's actually, been trained as a weighmaster.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and
Scales with them or
actually,
something?
pardon?
Do you have scales with them, or?
Oh yeah, we have scales. We bought scales I believe it was last year, last spring. And then actually Bill Deason's gone through the training too. So when Greg's not available, we'll have Bill, cover those duties. The way the weather has been, potentially, we don't want to take them off too soon, but I mean, but then again, they're forecasting some colder weather too, so time will tell. But I mean, if you do get an extended period of warm weather and a lot of rain, you will have a tendency of bringing the frost out of the ground. So we'll see. I think generally with the weight restrictions over the last many years, it's been roughly, 5-6 weeks or so, that they've been on, unless you get some really unusual, warm weather in the 60s and 70s and rain. So, any questions for us?
Any questions? The only comment I'd like to make, Mark, is that I believe, Diane, you had one snow removal complaint all winter, correct?
I did.
I mean, it was one, and the person didn't identify themselves. But the point I'm trying to make is that I know you didn't have the winter that we had 2 years ago, but I personally think you did a good job.
Good.
I think the guys need to be.
Appreciate it. Was it a mailbox complaint by any chance?
It was a mailbox complaint.
Okay.
Yes,
What
it
else?
was.
Okay.
And it was, it involved elderly parents and a weekend with snow.
Sure.
So it was waiting for me on Monday morning when I got
Okay.
here.
No, we get, especially, I
That was the
think,
only one we got.
we had a few events where you had the really wet slushy snow.
Right,
That's where because I mean, the trucks really throw that stuff, and
and it's heavy when it hits.
yeah, and if we hit them directly, we basically, provide a new basic box and post if a post is needed, but if the weight of the snow or something hit them, unfortunately, that's standard policy for most road agencies. We can't replace them.
Well, in this case, it was a case, his complaint was that the road was not plowed
Oh.
and he could not get to the elderly parents.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
But we didn't have a road name, or
We don't know where.
we had no way of knowing who it was.
Right.
I just,
Or if it was even in our township for that matter.
We don't know that either.
the point being is that,
Good.
people appear to be satisfied with it.
Sure. Good.
Thank you for the
Yep,
service.
appreciate it.
Anything else?
But if you have any questions anytime, just feel free to give us a call.
If you get any extra money, Don's Cotton Road is waiting.
Well, we don't want to, because we're going to get 375,000 in small urban funding, so we definitely got to take advantage of that.
And then there's Pine Creek Road.
Yeah, it's all, we get them one at a time.
Yeah.
We've been talking to them.
Thank you, Mark.
Yep, thank you.
Next on the agenda is adoption of the federal poverty guidelines and asset tests for the board review. These are guidelines for the board review to have to work off of as they listen to the as they receive the complaints and things. These are standard guidelines. The poverty exemptions are issued by the federal government. Is that correct, Connie?
Yes.
And we didn't waiver from them, we would like to adopt those guidelines, and the asset test is just again, a guideline for the board review to work off of as they handle each complaint on their assessments. So what I would like to do is I would entertain a motion to accept the poverty exemptions as well as the asset test as presented.
I make a motion to adopt local poverty guidelines and the asset test.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved, supported that we adopt the poverty exemption guidelines and the asset test as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed, carried. Now before Diane gives her election report, I would just like to make a comment. I guess I got in their way more than anything, but I was here while they were trying to put this whole program together, and if you want to see a well-oiled machine, you need to come down here and watch these people work on these elections and get them ready. She'll give you the report, but they're absent ballots to deal with, get things ready. They just did a fantastic job. So please give the report.
You truly didn't get in our way. You were very helpful.
And you brought the donuts, yeah.
Yeah, and you brought the donuts. That was the best part. We really had a good turnout for this election. I had hoped that it would be even more than what we had, but I thought it was great. We have 2,554 registered voters in Manistee Township, and of those, 324 voted by absentee ballot, so that was quite a few. We sent out 336, so we only had 12 absentee ballots that did not come back. That is a new record for us. We thought that was great. In addition to that, we had 598 people that voted in the precinct, so we had a total of 922 people between the absentees and the people that came through the hall. That brought us to 36.1% of our registered voters that turned out for the election. That is a very good turnout. I'm hoping that we will have even more for the August and November. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And the crew that worked did a great job this time. We balanced the first time around. We went home early. The county liked what we brought in. It was a great day. And the supervisor brought donuts.
Yeah. Told me a job I could handle.
Oh, one more thing I should tell you. It took us 197 hours of time to do that election, between the time the prep time before and the people that worked in the hall that day. We had 106 hours just on election day, from 7 o'clock in the morning until 9:30 at night when we were finally done. But it was a good day.
Yeah, good crew. You guys
We
worked
do.
very well together. The absent ballots, in my opinion, they need to do something with that system. There's a lot of labor, intense labor in that process. But unfortunately, I can't make that. Thank you very much for everyone that worked on the election. Again, no complaints from anybody in the way it was handled. Everybody was greeted cheerfully and got through the process very well. You've got a copy of the bills for March. Well, up until today. Entertain a motion to approve those bills.
Make a motion to approve the bills as presented.
There's been moved, supported that we accept the bills as presented. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Carried. The Manistee County MTA will meet Wednesday, March 23rd at 7 p.m. and that's at the Norman Township Hall. The Bar Lake Improvement Board meeting has been changed to April 11th from the 4th.
That's correct.
And that'll be here at the hall at 7 p.m. The Zoning Board of Appeals, as there is one, will be Tuesday, April 5th, here at the hall. The Planning Commission meeting will be Thursday, April 21st, again here at the hall. And the next regular meeting of the Manistee Township Board will be Thursday, April 14th, 7 p.m. here at the Township Hall. The only other comment is daylight savings time is this Saturday. Don't forget to set your clocks ahead, right?
Yeah.
And set it ahead, spring forward.
Set it ahead or you'll be late. Set it ahead or you'll be late. Yeah, that's what. Any other comment?